We would have come across team members who constantly reach out to us for clarification on the same point repeatedly. We would have provided all the information or data to them. However, in spite of this, they keep reaching out to us or seek clarifications to the same question or query pertaining to a task, process, or assignment repeatedly. This causes a major stress pertaining to our time and effort, and it's really difficult to manage. Now, why do certain people demonstrate this behavior? Why do these people repeatedly reach out to their colleagues or bosses for clarifications on the same question or point? There could be five broad reasons for it. The first reason could be a confidence issue. Someone may not be confident in terms of executing a certain task or process by himself or herself, because of which he or she reaches out to a colleague or the boss to seek support on implementation or execution. The second point could be memory. So someone may not have a great memory, because of which what has been communicated to him or her, the person may not recollect. So comparatively lesser people have this problem as per my observation. The third point could be the person is not organized enough. Because of the person not being organized enough, he or she loses track of information, because of which he or she needs to reach out to a colleague or boss to seek clarification on the same point again and again. The fourth point could be the person is not smart enough. Now we expect everyone to be really smart. However, not everyone can be as smart as us. Am I not true? So at times this could be an issue where we expect too much about people, and that may result in us thinking that someone is really smart, however not so smart in reality, and because of which the person is not able to grapple with what has been communicated or what needs to be done. The fifth reason could be pertaining to the person knowing what is to be done exactly. However, the person is risk averse. So many a times people like to safeguard themselves from risks. So although they know exactly what is to be done, somewhere they need a stamp of approval or consent before doing something. And one of the reasons for doing this is in case something goes wrong, then they can point the blame and mention that someone has actually given this information based on which they have gone ahead. So they can actually safeguard themselves and they can mention that I had spoken to my colleague or boss before I went ahead and executed this particular assignment or task. So there are these five reasons. Now, how do you manage this situation or people who keep reaching out to you repeatedly? In case the person is your colleague, it's much more easier. So in case the person is your colleague and you're working in the same team, there are two scenarios. So first scenario could be your boss has formally told you to support that person. In this case, when you verbally communicate various steps of a task or process to the person, also record everything on email with your boss in copy. In case the person is constantly reaching out to you for clarifications on the same point, beyond two clarifications, you need to tell the person that beyond this you would not be able to support because you have your own assignments and your own tasks to complete. And in case this continues, then you will have to escalate matters to your boss. In case the person is reaching out to you informally, then possibly you can help the person a couple of times. But beyond that, you will have to again tell this person that in case the person keeps reaching out to you, then there's no other option but for you to reach out to the boss. Please understand, at the workplace, you have to balance emotions with professionalism. I understand that we all care about our colleagues and team members. However, if you are too emotional at the workplace, you would get into issues. So please exercise professionalism in addition to exhibiting the right emotions, because just being emotional and not being professional would impact you more than anyone else. In case this particular person is your team member who reports into you, then you need to tell this person after you've explained everything. Also, even in case this person is your subordinate, Then as well, you need to record everything on email. So email record is necessary in terms of whatever you communicate, because many a times the verbal or spoken word may have its own set of interpretations. So in a professional setting, in a workplace setting, all important tasks or assignments, when you are conveying certain steps or certain other processes, you need to record it on email. That's necessary. Just communicating verbally would not do. So in addition to explaining the various steps of the task to your team member, you need to put everything on email. You can support the person a couple of times. However, if the person is reaching out to you for whatever reason repeatedly with requests for clarification on the same point, then somewhere you need to tell this person categorically that this is not acceptable. You have done your duty in terms of explaining the various steps involved, and now the person needs to execute by his own or her own. In case the person has a confidence issue, possibly you can motivate the person, empower the person, also give the person confidence, and I'm sure this person with your backing would go on to execute this particular task or process. However, in spite of all of this, you having communicated, put matters on email, this person still keeps bothering you or reaching out to you for clarifications on a task or process, then the final tactic or step that you can undertake is telling this person that you have done your best, and in spite of this, you're still reaching out to me for these clarifications, and that too repeatedly for the same point or with the same question. Now, somewhere this is impacting me, and I have no other alternative, however, to escalate this issue to my boss. So I'm sure that when your team member realizes that you just mentioned that you would escalate matters to your boss, I'm sure matters would definitely change. Everyone wants to be in the good books of their boss. At the same time, they also want to be in the good books of their boss's boss. So I'm sure the mention of your boss's boss and the possibility of escalation to your boss's boss would make the person wary, and he or she would pull up his or her socks and ensure that he or she doesn't reach out to you for the same point or for the same clarification. So try it out. I'm sure that people who reach out to you repeatedly may stop reaching out to you and bothering you or taking too much of your time and effort. All the very best. Thank you for your time.